Hello, everyone. So today I have another Crystal Creations build for you. This one is going to be a jewelry store with maybe I'll call it a townhome behind it because it's not an apartment. So what my thought process was when designing this build was that maybe this was a home and they years and years and years ago, okay, decades ago, renovated it and put a storefront in. And if you know your history, this was pretty common, back before, cars were a big thing. And you had a shop out in front of your home, and then you had the house behind it or above it. So that was kind of the thought on this. And what I'm considering doing is I want to start a save file with some of these builds I've done, and then of course future builds. And what I want to do is create areas in that build or in that save file. So this one I think will end up in there in some way, shape, or form. That being said, I also decided with this one to get a floor plan done or at least a basic floor plan done for it. And I am also uploading this as a shell along with the finished build. So you can put whatever store you want in it, or whatever type of retail, restaurant, whatever you want to put in here. Because I just liked how it worked. So yeah, look for that on the gallery. It will be labeled as a shell. So there you go. I just saw such potential with this build for numerous different types of businesses that I couldn't not do it that way. So anyway, what I've done here again is create a jewelry store with, a home. And I struggled a little bit with this because I wanted to keep this build base game and the new pack. So that being said, I haven't uploaded it to the gallery yet. And at least not as of recording this. So I'm hoping I succeeded. I didn't check because at the time of doing this, I was still going back and forth with mods, having them, not having them, because of all the update craziness. But I tried, and I hope I succeeded. I think I also do, of course, have some get to work items in here as well. So don't be surprised at that. I just thought about that. I'm like, wait a minute, I was creating a store. So there's probably some get to work items in here too, like I think the window there and the door. But nothing too crazy. The register, that type of thing that'll be in the jewelry store. So that being said, I just was really excited to do this. And at this point, I have been playing with the build I did on Friday. If you haven't seen my Witch's Shop build yet, I'll link to that above. And you can check that out. That one's been fun. I decided to play in that one for a couple reasons. One, this one wasn't done yet. And two, because I wanted to play through the witch stuff a little bit. Though on that one, I said I didn't put in like a cauldron. I still haven't yet. I want to get the jewelry stuff done, but even though that'll take a little bit, I don't think that's going to be, it's going to take a long time to do. And right now, I'm not feeling my legacy game I started. Thinking about redoing that completely. And So in the meantime, I'm looking for something to do. I did start playing with the For Rent pack a while ago, but that one isn't really speaking to me right now either. And it has nothing to do with bugs. I don't know. I lost interest in it. So we'll see how this does and go from there. But that one's been a lot of fun. And the jewelry making, though, the jewelry making is difficult. Mostly because, I'm trying to do it where I'm actually hunting down everything and not just, buying it and making it. So, yeah. Yeah, it's coming along though. But the shop itself is really working pretty well. I started out with a mod that would let me make a residential a business, and I realized pretty quickly that some of the items I had in that shop that I wanted to be able to sell, I wasn't able to. So, changed plan, moved my sim out, bought a empty lot, and then bought the business, and that worked out so much better. So, if you were like me and going, oh, I can use one of the mods, I want to say the one I used was maybe Little Miss Sam. Her mod, which I've used before. I love the mod. And it might just be it's not updated or something. So, I'm not sure what's going on with that. But, yeah, if you're using that and not using it as a business lot and struggling, that might be why. So, I found a little more success in choosing items to sell when I just made it a business and lived in it. So that worked out pretty good. And so far, I've only gone through a day or two with that, and it's worked out pretty good. Haven't played with the seance table yet. Still need to do that. So, yeah. All right. So, I kind of been talking through this because basic kitchen. This area, though, I wanted to create kind of a butler's pantry because I just had the space, and I didn't want to necessarily make it part of the kitchen. So, walled it off, put in a nice doorway, and kind of created that, space to put all your stuff. And I think I'm going to try to do more homes like that, at least the bigger ones, because we have all these appliances now. And yeah, we just need space to put them all. So, the one thing I do want to stay as we're going through this build, now that I'm getting furnishing in and all of that, is the story behind this build is it is a family-owned jewelry store. Grandma and Grandpa started it, years and years ago when they immigrated to the country, okay? That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And they have now handed it down to their grandson, who will be living here and running it. So, he came in and said, I'll live here. I want to run the store, but this has to be redone. So, he went through and remodeled a little bit. I mean, the layout still stays the same, but he put in all new kitchen, furniture, all that stuff. But the grandparents said, that's fine. But you need to leave one bedroom for us to come visit. And so upstairs, you will see that there is a bedroom that doesn't match the rest of the house. And I just thought it was kind of fun because we're going to say they moved to Florida or, something. So when they want to come visit, they come back and they stay in that bedroom. So, and it's not the master. They didn't demand that. Okay. So that's kind of my story and how I decorated this. And I think it works. I wanted it to scream kind of bachelor, but bachelor who does have some money because it's family inherited. Yeah. Wealth. Not that, he's really wealthy. So there's that too, because, they didn't die and leave them all, their money. They just moved and left him the business. So there's a little bit of money. They gave him a little bit, but not a lot. So that's kind of the backstory on this build. And if you have watched my videos before, I try to build for someone. And sometimes they have extravagant backstories, sometimes they don't. This one, as I'm building it, just the story grew and grew. It was great. So the other thing that I want to point out with this build and others that I do that are like this, if you find it annoying seeing the business area and the home area together, if you put in a half wall where that kind of painting is and where the stove is in that area, that will keep that wall up when you have like half walls. So you won't see all the business stuff. It just, if you're somebody who can't handle all that, nothing wrong with it. Not saying there is. It's just some people can, some people can't. That's a tip. And I've used it myself, mostly just because I like looking at what I put on the wall. Okay. So I did kind of keep that in mind if you wanted to do that, at least for the home side. I put a few things up on the jewelry store side, but not a lot. I kept the store a little blank, again, because I was trying to stick to certain packs. So hopefully if you have some other ones, you can kind of fill in the decor from there. And, kind of create your own style, I guess. So anyway, here I am working on the grandparents' room, and they didn't put too many more requirements down, so they're fine using the, main bathroom there and all that. They just wanted their stuff, like their bed set, their, furniture left in this room so that they could come back and visit and feel at home. So that's where that's going. And we'll just say that, if he got married and, had children, that they would rent a hotel and let him turn this into a nursery and kids' room. We're going to go with that route. So the other thing is curtains. Again, we really just need like a update for some more curtains in base game. I think we just need more, because every time I do builds that are mostly base game oriented, I cringe at the curtains. So yeah, if you have other stuff and want to replace those, do it. Do it. Now, I don't have any plans on really playing in this build anytime soon. Might eventually, especially if I start doing like a legacy again. I think I'm going to just restart it. I actually do like to kind of play as myself. And I think what I'm going to do this time is start myself as a baby and grow up so that there's other family members, stuff like that, and have that as kind of a base save file to do other things. So that might end up being what I do, and just because then you already have that history of somebody being there. And I know I got the idea from somewhere, so I'm not the only one like, oh, I'm going to do it this way. And then, I have a sim save that's just, has no family whatsoever for the times I don't want to deal with, other people. Mostly when I test out things. Like right now with the witch's store, I don't, it's just, a single sim. And I don't want to deal with family stuff. So that's the easy option. I don't have to have anything prepped for that. All right, so here I just decided to put in like a workout area, because I'm like, what is a bachelor going to do in this area? But it's there in case, there's kids or whatever. And then I just kind of create this little like outdoor space for the grandparents. They don't have access to this balcony. Didn't put a lot out there either. Just, like I said, trying to keep it kind of simple. Really, I'm thinking with how long it takes to do the jewelry and all of that, this Sim's not going to have a lot of time on their hands, at least not for a while. I think speed might improve as you gain the skill for the jewelry making, so that should help. But as far as I know, you can't just buy this jewelry, so it's not something that you can really cheat. Now, that being said, I did go through on this build and I put in a couple of pieces. I did that just to kind of show you what they look like on display. They do come with the store. If you don't want them there, just delete them. But there's a couple of pieces scattered throughout. And a lot of that was just, like I said, to see, how they looked on the different stand, that type of thing. But I did that when I play tested. So everything worked really well. And if you did notice, you'll see it in pictures. For the butler's pantry, I did place a door in the doorway. So it kind of looks like it was a sliding door. And you can still walk through that. So that was really my biggest concern. I don't think I had anything else that I was like, I don't know if this is going to work or not. And most of my builds don't have major issues. Occasionally I have floating objects. But if you're new to this channel and new to my builds, most of the time I have, figured out how to build so that, they're good builds. I usually don't, when I play test them, I never find like anything. So that's always a good thing. But if you ever find something that I missed, please let me know either in the comments on a video or on the gallery, because I will go and fix it. All right, so hopefully you guys aren't hearing my one cat. He has decided he wants attention right now. And I'm trying to avoid stopping recording to give him that attention. So, yeah. But just in case you hear a random meow or something, he is literally right near the microphone right now. So, all right. So up front, I wanted to do just a little fountain to kind of create something. I mean, that's my plan, as I said, with this build is to put it into a save file. And this is going to be in a downtownish type area. So these will definitely be more community spaces than not. So that's kind of where this fountain came in. And I needed something to do with this corner. So I thought that worked. More than likely, this is going to sit right on this lot. I don't think I built anything on this lot. At least not anything that would be a downtownish type feel. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure when I do that save, it'll be this building in this spot. So, not sure what I'm going to do in the next one. I don't think I built anything in that one either. So, that might be another thing. I might have to start focusing on building in these certain lots in Newcrest anyway. But along with that save file, I'm going to be doing the Townhome refreshes too. So that'll all be in the one save file. And eventually, once it's done, I'll get it uploaded for your use. Hopefully, before the game ends. But, yeah, because I'm really hoping to do all the worlds if I can. So we'll see how that goes. I will be putting things I've already, built into some of this. So it's not like I'm starting from scratch and making myself, build everything. I'll be putting some of the builds I already have in there. Now, the other thing I've thought about, and I could do it concurrently with this save file, is doing a base game only for the base game worlds and having that as, trying to stick with what's in each pack. So it'd be like base game and island living base game. I don't know if I want to try to tackle both of those together or not, because it'd be two different save files. But I might, kind of. Like, it'd be when I'm tired of doing one, I'll work on the other type thing. So be prepared for that, because I'm thinking that might be something I'll start working on. I do have the poll results for what type of build you guys would like me to do next, and I believe a fantasy village won that. So that will also be in the pipeline here. All I have to say is that Crystal Tree is going in there somewhere, okay? Because that thing is cool. And so is the charging station. So, yeah, be ready. Okay. All right, so you can see here the jewelry store. Again, I did most of this build before the pack came out. So that's why the jewelry store was done last. I did add a few little things throughout the rest of the build too from the pack, but not a whole lot. And one thing I do want to say is the necklace stands, I wasn't able to get like anything to sit on those. They're kind of placeholders is how I'm figuring they can work. More to give you an idea of what, something might look like up there on those shelves. But it doesn't look like you can move the jewelry over to them. And I don't know if that's a glitch. I don't know if I'm just not doing something correctly. That's possible. But you can, the jewelry does come on their own stands. So you can always just delete those and drag your own jewelry over to sell it. So you can see here, just kind of going through. I know the lights don't hang down from the ceiling. Okay, they hang from the non-existent ceiling because this is all open. We're just going to pretend that they're held up by chains that you can't see very well. Okay? Right, so now just kind of finishing touches. I didn't want to go too crazy with some of the celestial stuff for this jewelry store, mostly because, that's not the vibe I was going for. But I did put it in the jewelry making room because, I just thought it was cool to throw something like that in there. And maybe it was, Grandma or Grandpa was really into astrology or something and did that. All right, so we are coming up to the end of this build. And I have to say, I really like this. As I said, I don't have any immediate plans to play in it, but it's definitely going to happen eventually. All right, so I am going to sit back and let you guys enjoy the pictures of the inside and outside. And I'll see you in a bit. All right, I do hope you enjoyed this build. I did have a lot of fun building it, and I'm looking forward to doing similar builds in the future. All right, don't forget to hit the like button if you did like this video, and subscribe so you're informed when I post the next one. All right, guys, I will see you again on Friday. Bye now.